Hello, Aries. Welcome to a tarot card reading about the full month of May. We're going to be looking at every single week in your month of May. Let's see what's going on in your love life. I'm going to do this for those of you who are in a relationship and out of a relationship, people who are single, people who are separated, friend zone. I'm going to talk about all of those. So let's get into it. This here is going to be your card referring to the 1st to the 7th of the month. Then we have a card for the 7th of the month onwards to the 15th, the 15th of the month onwards to the 21st of the month of May, and then the 21st of May onwards to the end of the month. I am using a deck that is called the Dark Fantasy Tarot deck, just in case you're interested. It is based off of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Let's start with your first card being the Ten of Pentacles in the reversal position. It is an unfortunate position to get it in. Oftentimes, this is a card that talks about loss, fraudulent situations, chances that don't work out to your benefit. And it can be difficulties where separation is involved in dynamics. And you see this because we have an image of a family here, even on the front of this card, much like the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. There is family, there is unity, there is relational togetherness, but in the reversal, you can understand how this card would turn into a separation of relational or relationship dynamics. So for those of you who are currently in a relationship, you might face tension in that first week from the 1st to the 7th of the month. But because this is a card of loss, if any of you are on that barrier transition moment where you're wondering if you're about to lose this relationship, I do not want to be the bearer of bad news, but that is a very difficult time in that first week to get a card like the Ten of Pentacles. Bearing in mind, this is a collective reading. I don't know who this reading is for, but whoever it's for, I hope it makes it to you. Keep me posted in the comments if all of a sudden the first week of May comes and you're like, yep, I did split up with my person. For those of you who are already separated from someone, then that first week keeps you in that separated position. Nothing much of a change in that dynamic, just to be clear on that. For those of you who are in a friend zone dynamic or in a situationship, that's not a time of a lot of unity at that point. And you know what? Quite frankly, it just dawned on me, starting today, we do have some really close energy going on right now between Neptune and Mars. Those two are aligned as of today. And if you know anything about Neptune, it is the energy of dreams, both dreams and illusions. And then the energies of Mars is war and tension and conflict. So while some of you may feel like you are going forward to get your own dreams accomplished in life, it may be because of a tense dynamic where you really have to push yourself forward. But sometimes it's pushing yourself forward independently to get those dreams and letting go of any of the illusions. We will have that energy floating around astrologically for a little bit of time. For those of you who are not in a relationship with anybody, looking to maybe date, thinking about putting yourself out there, that first week isn't a very promising week. But I will say, because it's a Pentacles card, not on a love note, but it may be a little bit better for a financial concept, just because sometimes in that Ten of Pentacles in the reversal, it can talk about gifts or dowries that come from families. Just putting it out there. But it's not heavy on the, hey, you're going to meet somebody and fall in love aspect in the first week. That brings us to the second week. This is the 7th of the month onwards to the 15th of the month, and this is the Page of Pentacles, although it was in the reversal position. This card is usually about contemplation. You can even see this little child here essentially looking down and contemplating the pentacle that he has in his hands. And that's the same concept of what we have in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It's that same picture of someone looking at a coin. The problem that we have with the Page of Pentacles in the reversal, when we're reading about love and we're not talking about money, it becomes the card of either contemplating things and finding out there's some bad news connected to it. There's some bad realization about things maybe not being as favorable as you had hoped in terms of your love life or a situation between you and a person. or it shows up as actual unfavorable news. Remembering that a page in the history of the Middle Ages was often a servant kind of figure to the king, often given tasks of instructions like passing messages from one king to another or one aristocrat back to the king. The page was usually the messenger boy to some degree, kind of like the knights could be. In this case, when it's in the reversal, while he's doing his message communicating, it's unfavorable news that you receive. So in relationships, again, if you're already with someone, that could be in the form of news and conversation that happens in the second quarter of the week that doesn't feel too good to have. For those of you who are separated, that energy seems to want to continue where the conversations and communications that you're having in your love life are not very fruitful. Something may get said that is really off-putting. In the dynamics of friend zone situations, in the dynamics of situationships, there could be conversations that feel uneasy. Again, Page of Pentacles is not a very pleasing card to get no matter what area or spectrum you are in the world of relationships, in a relationship or out of a relationship. And for those of you who are thinking about getting into a relationship, thinking of dating, putting yourself out there, maybe you join up to Bumble or Hinge, whatever your choice is, just bear in mind that whoever it is that you may talk to, because this is about news, there may be unfavorable news that comes in or unfavorable communications that comes in from somebody who slides into your DM or somebody that you bump into. You start talking a little bit and then that person talks too much and you realize, don't really like the things that you're saying. Uniquely, once we get into the dynamics of the 15th of the month onwards to the 21st, things turn around in a short-term way. And I know this image does not look like an easy dynamic. The reason why I'm saying things actually turn around a little bit is because the Ten of Swords in the reversal position, according to Arthur Edward Waite over 100 years ago, is a card of something that goes in your favor, but it is temporary. So if there is an upswing in the relationship, if there's a little bit of a week where you finally just get to relax and you and your person are not at odds with one another, if you do have someone in mind, then it'll be that week when all of a sudden you see a little bit of win. You might think when this happens that, oh my gosh, is my partner finally coming over to my side, like understanding, are we getting past all this negative communication? And for a time being, yes, but because it's a card of a temporary situation, it is likely that there will still be some difficulties that go on into the future. Now, I don't know how far because I'm not reading the month of June. I don't have like May and June. And if you ever want a monthly reading, feel free to let me know. But at least it's a good week for a little bit, after the 15th of the month onwards to the 21st. Now, it doesn't get immediately bad. It's not like one good week and then drops off and then it's bad again. There is a little bit of a lengthening where it feels like in your love life you could still have some good energy, but it's wrapped around indecision, like somebody who after the 21st of the month, they see that you guys just had a good time, so they can't really make their mind up now. By the way, for those of you who are just talking to somebody in terms of dating at that 15th of the month onwards to the 21st, you could really hit it off. It might be like uncomfortable, but you still talk to them anyways. And then you really hit it off in the third quarter after the 15th up to the 21st. You're like, okay, maybe we can save this a little bit here. But then again, it comes back to indecision. It doesn't come to like canceling everything, but you're looking at this like, where's this going? It was really good. It's not so bad. And when it comes to those two dynamics, it's kind of good. It's kind of bad. The so-so energy. In Croatian, we call that tako. So-so. It's like not great, but it's not bad. Then it leaves you in the what the heck are we doing kind of vibe. So you might find that energy showing up at the end of the month. I will leave you guys off with that, and I'm about to hop into your next reading, which is the exact same kind like this. It is an April reading, week by week, but it's for life concepts like jobs, school, employment, that travel that you're doing. Each one of you will be different, but I'm going to do that. So feel free to consider, if you'd like, to unlock some extra content. You can click the subscription button at the top of my TikTok page, and it will unlock all the rest of the monthly videos for this month and last month and every month, to be quite frank. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much, and ciao for now.